Who do you want to help? This is a very, very important for you to remind yourself where you started. It's very easy to forget where you have been. If you already got the result that you want, if you already got the transformation that you want to help people with. I'll give you my example. For me, at the end of my cancer treatment, I was feeling the best I had ever felt, even though I had just gone through cancer treatment. So it was easy for me to forget where I had started, where I had been, really, exhausted and without any energy, and not feeling very well, with things like headaches all the time, feeling sick all the time. It was very important for me to remind myself who I was before that healing journey, that health journey that I had gone through. So I want to ask you to really think about that person that you want to help. It's most likely to be an old version of yourself. Now, you cannot help people with everything. Like if you are thinking that, okay, I want to help people to get healthy. Like in my case, I could easily have just focused on that, right? I just want to help people to get healthy. But the truth is, people are only gonna pay for something that it's causing them suffering. People are only gonna pay for your help for things that are really urgent for them. So in my case, when I started sharing my story, I had this idea that I could help every exhausted person to just feel healthier. But the truth is, people that are not sick, they don't want to change anything. They don't want to get healthier because they think that they are healthy. They're just exhausted. But once I started sharing my story with the vision of, I want to help people who have been diagnosed with a chronic disease, with something that they don't know even where to start, like to heal themselves, that's when I started getting traction. So I want to ask you, who were you as a person before this healing journey? It's so easy for you to be focusing on, I didn't love myself. I want to help people to find self-love. Self-love is never going to be an urgent thing for people to work on, to change, because the truth is that is not the core of the problem that they're suffering with, right? Like they have either a diagnosis with something. You probably went through something like yourself, like a health crisis. So you need to start calling those names. To be honest, like the self-love is so woo-woo because most people don't even know what self-love is. Me, myself, I had to look into the dictionary because I started reading the self-love, whole thing in every healing book that I found during cancer treatment, but I didn't even know what it was because I never really felt that I loved myself, but I didn't think that there was a problem. So if you're trying to speak to that person will be in exact same place. Self-love, it's a concept that only people who have gone through a healing crisis, a health journey, or a life challenge, and then they had to find this connection with themselves that they can understand what self-love is. Okay, so if you are trying to sell self-love, it's going to be very hard for you to create this urgency for people to buy it from you. So you need to have more of a tangible result that you want to really create for your avatar, for the person that you want to help, in this context. So for me, when I started talking to people who had already been diagnosed with something and they were lost and they were overwhelmed and they were ready to take charge of their habits, they were ready to take control of what they could do, because that's what I did, even, despite going through the chemotherapy. That's the kind of person that I started attracting into my orbit. That's the kind of client that I started attracting to work with me because they realized that they needed to take ownership of their health by changing themselves. Okay, so can you see that that's very different than just selling something like self-love? I could have also sold forgiveness. Self-love was all part of my healing journey, but that wasn't the core of what I was selling. I was selling for people to change their habits physically, mentally, and emotionally so they could create health from a place of already diseased, a place of being diagnosed with something. So I want you to think about, who is the person that you are trying to help? And, like just a hint that's going to be the old version of yourself. So for me, it was that person who had been diagnosed with cancer, who was completely lost, who had lost hope, who did not know where to start, who did not know what to do. And I wanted to help that person to create a different life for themselves through different habits. So I wanted to help that person to change their habits, physical, mental, and emotion, so they could create health. Okay, so I want you to really focus and think about, who was I before getting this result that I experienced today. I'm 45 now. I feel the healthiest I have ever been. I mean, I can't even compare how I feel now from when I was in my 20s, right? And I say this over and over and over again because this is true. But the person who before cancer, the Angelica before cancer, wouldn't understand that because that person wasn't diagnosed with anything. He didn't have an urgency to change anything. That person thought she was healthy, even though I was going down the path to being diagnosed with a very serious disease, which was stage 3 bowel cancer. But I couldn't help that person. Okay, because that person did not want my help. And I don't want you to fall into the trap to trying to help people with things that are not important to them, that are not urgent to them, that are not crucial for their living and well-being. For the kind of thing that they think I need this to live my life. When people started are coming to me after I started speaking about my story, as in I was lost after my cancer diagnosis, but I took charge of my habits. They started connecting to that message because they thought, I am that person. I have just been diagnosed with something. I'm sick of delegating my health to other people. I'm sick of doing this on my own. I can't get out of this rut and I need to take charge of my habits. And that's when they started coming to me. So think about, who was I before I started getting on this health journey and got the transformation, the result that I wanted teach people and help people with. If you are going down the path of using things I want to teach people how to to love themselves, that is not going to be urgent enough. Okay, that is not going to, because most people are walking around without loving themselves, without even having a clue what that is, and they're not linking their anxiety with that. They're not linking their cancer diagnosis with that. They're not linking their issues with their thyroid with that, the issues with their digestive issues, track of that. They're not linking any of this with self-love. They are experiencing different things that are more urgent for them to really think about. I need to solve this because this is my problem. I see so many health coaches trying to sell this not very tangible, a very fluffy result. And that is where the biggest issue is when it comes to attracting clients. And at the beginning, I must admit, I was really I wanted to help the old version of myself, the old Angelica before the cancer diagnosis, but that person did not want to help you. We need to help people that want to get helped. They need to put their foot forward and say, I need help. Otherwise, you are not going to experience the transformation. You're not going to help them to experience the transformation that you want to help them with. So I want you to really think about, who was I before I got into this transformational journey, this health journey, this completely process of changing my life What were the things that I was experiencing? What is the thing that made me feel that I needed to change? What are the things that pain me the most? Okay, I'll give you one more example before we close this training up. So I have clients that have achieved some incredible things, and they've achieved some different things throughout their lives as well. And it could be that they've achieved, a child's chronic illness, and they had to go through the whole grief and trauma, to seeing their child unwell, and to take that child through that whole process and come out stronger at the end. But they could have also gone through a divorce. They could have also gone through a depression or anxiety. So that client has gone through so many things, and they could teach people so many different things. But they could easily fall into the trap of saying, I just want people to live a happier life, a healthier life. But the truth is that does not create enough pain in people. They are not going to pay for you to help them with, because they are not aware of the problem that they experience that is linked to living a healthier life. You need to pinpoint exactly what is the problem that you're solving for them. So you need to ask yourself, what it is the actual problem that I'm solving for people? Are they living on the street and they needing to create financial freedom? Are they crippled with anxiety and they need to start getting out of their house? Do they want to get off medication due to lifestyle changes? Do they want to get over a toxic relationship right now? So can you see, those things are much more powerful when it comes to the actual result than just telling people, I want you to learn how to love yourselves more, or get healthier, or feel happier. Of course, there will be the consequence of it, but they are not what is called, the client is not linking that to the actual problem that they're experiencing every day. Just remember that our brain, our primitive brain, that it's running away from danger, that it's running away from things that are putting our life into danger. Our survival brain is much stronger than anything else that is going on in our mind. So we are constantly trying to get out of danger, to run away from danger. And that is what motivates most of people. Okay, so you need to think about what it is that it's going to get people to stop the scrolling and thinking, I resonate with this story because I'm experiencing exactly this. And I want the transformation that this person has. I want to experience a life like she has. I want to feel like she's feeling. Okay, so I want you to really think about that instead of thinking broader and general and in fluffy terms, unless you are very specific about the problem that you are solving to the client. The clients are not going to resonate with you and your story. We could be talking about the exact same story. Me, myself, as a cancer survivor and another cancer survivor. And I could be talking about, I want you to feel healthier and happier. And the other cancer survivor could be talking about, I want you to finish 12 sessions of chemotherapy feeling stronger than you ever felt. Who do you think is going to get more traction when it comes to the message? Who do you think is gonna, stop the scroll? Who do you think is going to be like, yeah, this is what I want because this is what I'm experiencing right now. I've been diagnosed with cancer and I want to feel stronger now. So can you see, I really want you to spend some time doing this, because I see that there is a lot of people that really utilize broader terms and they are not being specific enough even though they have the proof in their own lives to be specific enough. They have the results to be specific enough, but they're either too scared to be specific enough, or they just don't know how to articulate their story in a way that it's going to be specific enough for the people that they can help with to resonate with their story. So hopefully this helps. So just start writing down what it is, the core problem that you're helping people with. I want to help people with, and then we can start getting this conversation going. I can start giving you some personalized feedback, so you can start really nailing this, so you can attract the right people into your orbit, so you can help these people.